There are definitely some advantages and disadvantages to buying a used car or renting one. The most obvious advantage is that used car buyers can save themselves some serious cash, even on models that are less than a year old. For people that choose to rent cars, they don't have to worry about things like maintenance and other troublesome aspects. One of the little disadvantages of buying used cars or renting them is that you don't always know what condition the car is in, or better yet, what could be hiding inside. There's also the risk that the car's previous owner or renter had some rather unpleasant habits, or some unusual hobbies and interests, which may have left an impact on the vehicle, or perhaps they left some interesting items like exotic animals, cash, or even weapons. Sometimes new owners don't discover the truth until after they've driven away. Well, luckily for you, you clicked on this video because today you're going to learn about the strangest things that people found in cars. First on the list, we have a stuffed deer head. Imagine opening the trunk of your car only to find a pair of eyes staring right back at you. Pretty scary, right? Well, that's just what one rental car employee had to cope with when a customer accidentally left the stuffed deer head in the back of their return vehicle. Like many of the items on this list, how anybody managed to leave such a large, expensive, and mummified item is a mystery. But there is also some question marks about the client's tastes in home decoration, too. Up next, we have headstones. One man left a fully carved headstone belonging to his dearly departed grandmother in the trunk of his car. To be fair, his terrible lapse in memory could probably be blamed on grief, and he certainly would be getting plenty of it from his friends and family for losing grandma's headstone. Hopefully, he didn't end up delaying the funeral service. Up next, we have snakes. Strangely, finding a snake in your car isn't as unusual as you might think. The cold-blooded creatures seem to enjoy hiding themselves away in nooks and crannies around warm engines, often emerging at inappropriate moments, such as when the driver is going at a top speed down the highway. Snakes have also been discovered in returned rental cars, though they usually have no connection to the person who last rented the vehicle. In fact, the poor customer may have been driving around with a snake in their engine for days, completely unaware of the presence of their unusual hitchhiker. Up next, we have a complete human skeleton. Even on Halloween, the presence of a complete real human skeleton in the back of your returned rental car is something of an unpleasant and unexpected surprise for the staff. Finding a human skull staring at you from the trunk is certainly a day of work that none of these employees would forget. Hopefully, this particular skeleton was the kind used to demonstrate anatomy lessons in school and nothing more sinister. Up next, we have live mice in a cage. There's only one thing worse than discovering a pet mouse in a cage in your car, and that's discovering a pet mouse in your car that's not in a cage. One man, after purchasing a used car, drove home, opened the trunk, and found a furry surprise: 3 caged mice. And the real surprise was that they were still alive. Let's hope the animals eventually made their way back home to the loving family. Up next, we have prosthetic limbs. Now, this item is truly bizarre for its owner to leave anywhere. After all, how on earth does somebody who relies on a false leg to get around manage to do anything without their prosthetic limb? Do they get out of the car and hop away? The only explanation is that whoever had this vehicle also owned a spare leg, and that it was a false limb that they had left in the car. This is definitely the kind of lost property that you would expect to be retrieved pretty quickly. Up next, we have hand grenades. Most of the time when rental car businesses find lost property left in cars, they'll either throw it away or make an effort to ensure that it's returned to its rightful owner. However, there are some items that warrant a call to the police, such as a hand grenade that terrified rental car cleaners found in one of their cars. Luckily, the grenade turned out to be a dud and didn't explode when a staff member accidentally pulled the pin. Up next, we have cats. Cat lovers should probably skip this entry on the list of weird things found in cars, as there isn't always a happy ending for the furry little monsters. One man did acquire a healthy cat when he brought a brand new car. After checking with the previous owners, the cat didn't belong to any of them, so he decided to go ahead and keep his new feline friend. There wasn't such a happy ending for another cat that found its way into a car's engine bay. Sadly, the new owner, upon checking the engine for any problem, was shocked to find a deceased cat wedged in one of the gaps. Up next, we have a suitcase full of cash. Most people, when presented with a suitcase stuffed with cash, would automatically assume that something criminal is going on, or at least something a little unethical. When rental car staff came across just that in the back of one of their returned vehicles, the temptation to keep for themselves, which was most likely ill-gotten gains, must have been very strong indeed. It's one thing to pocket a dollar bill that you find while cleaning a rental car, however, but quite another to make off with millions of dollars, particularly when you remember that other people are going to be looking for that cash. Up next, we have fish heads. A Tesla mechanic in Dallas not so fondly remembers the time when a foul odor got his attention while doing a transmission repair. It was the most horrendous punch-you-in-the-face smell that you could ever imagine. I rolled down every window with little relief, he recalled. After thoroughly searching the vehicle, he finally discovered the source of the horrible odor in the back seat. The culprit was a large pile of fish heads baking in the 100 100-degree Texas heat. He recalled that their eyes were bulging and goop was oozing into the car's cloth interior. He never discovered how they actually got there. Well guys, those are the 10 strangest things that people found in cars. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you like what you see at the channel, subscribe and put post notifications on. I'm Jeff from Modern Muscle, and I'll see ya next time.